Hello friends and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial of our software testing bootcamp series where we are learning the fundamental concepts of software testing. And we are in chapter 4 talking about the test design techniques, where we are continuing ahead with our 4.2, which is to talk about the black box test techniques. In today's tutorial, we'll be stepping into another technique which is very useful and very important for any tester to understand, that is use case testing. In order to understand about use case testing as a test design technique, we should first understand what exactly use case is all about. Now, number one thing is use case is different from the test case. A test case is a set of instructions which are written to validate a particular functionality, which a testers generally write in order to perform a user-based activity on the application to make sure that the system is behaving as intended. Whereas on the other hand, when it comes to use cases, it's more of user, scenario which a user is intended to operate in terms of interacting with the application in order to perform an activity. And the major difference between use case and test cases could be at the concrete level, where one particular action like creating an account or logging into the system is our scenarios. But here it could be end to end. Right? It's not limited to component, it's not limited to integration. It's just that we are talking about an end-to-end control flow here, that how exactly a particular transaction can be placed. So test cases and use cases are different, where we just don't limit to a particular functionality or feature. Here it is collection of features and functionality when it comes to use cases. Now, of course, what more can make a better difference between use case? A use case basically describes the real-time interaction between the user and the system. Now that means that how exactly in reality a user will interact with a particular system will be described here step by step. Now, of course, how exactly user and the system will have different steps being performed during a complete transaction will be sequentially defined, whereas a test case is written in a particular order. Right here, we don't have two different interactions that in test cases, you have your steps on one column and expected result in another column. But here, the user and system will have side by side in a very sequential manner. Now, use cases basically describes the process flow through a system based on its actual use. Actual use in the sense we don't have a perception here. We don't have the positive and negative scenarios considered. But yes, of course, a positive, complete, happy path which a user can take to complete. But we do consider where all this particular transactions can be terminated or can be having an exception. But we have a main path which certifies or defines that a use case is what a user will do. Also, use cases can be presented into pictorial representations called as UCD, which is use case diagram. That means it could be in a written format, or it could be presented through the model diagrams to show you what exactly a real user is intended to do. The use case describes the real world scenario. It also helps uncover integration defects caused by the interaction interfaces, and also goes into the system levels defects, which is like end-to-end execution of a particular business use case. Now, the point here is that which all level use cases could be one of the helpful bases to derive test cases, and thus it can help you to minimize your test cases at the same time. So except for component testing, where we don't have two different modules, we're just limited to one particular module, and that's where use cases are not applicable. Except that when it comes to integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing, everywhere else, use cases are very helpful because it exhibits with multiple modules put together, right? So in integration, system, and acceptance, use cases will be very helpful to derive your test cases, and at the same time could be used as a technique to reduce the number of test cases instead of coming with a number of possibilities. Now, use cases are generally written at the abstract level, that is like at the business use case level, where we don't write concrete, unlike our test cases, we write it more at the high level. Now, the key characteristics of a use case generally include these options. Number one, a use case must always have one main path for a given scenario. That means a successful completion of a particular transaction is the main path, and a use case always has one main path for sure, right? And only one main path. It's not that it could be optional that you can have more than one. No, it only has one main path. There's no other, main path to complete the successful outcome. Now, second thing is what happens to the alternatives. Of course, each alternative is clearly identified as a part of the use case which we are talking about. That means for every single option, there will be a different use case well defined for it. On the third point, each exception will also be clearly identified, which means that where all a particular main path can be terminated due to a wrong input, probably like wrong data being inserted by the customer, you can have a variety of deviations, and those deviations can terminate the transaction right there, ending up to abrupt interruptions or closure of the transaction. Let's take a quick example here to understand what exactly a use case looks like and how these characteristics and these points are fulfilled in a use case. So right here we have a simple example to understand that what is a use case, and at the same time how use case testing as a technique can help you to reduce your number of test cases with maximum coverage. So we are taking an example of easy travel card, which is basically just like your MRTs or metro cards, where you use it for buses and the undergrounds, which are like metros, and the buses where you can tap your card and make the payment and do a cashless travel. Now, the details of this use cases include, first of all, the use case. The use case here is add to easy travel balance from credit card. The scenario is a user is trying to add value to the easy travel card using a credit card. And that's one scenario which we are covering in this use case. The use case ID is clearly identified here. At the same time, the purpose is also defined here. User is trying to increase the balance on their easy travel card, right? And the involvement on the scenario is like the actors, which includes the user and the system. That means there are two people contributing to this use case, which is always user and the system. There's a precondition that user should have a valid easy travel card and a credit card too, without which this particular use case cannot be executed. And the end result is user's easy travel card balance has been increased with the selected amount, and the equal amount has been charged to the credit card. This is the outcome. Let's talk about the real use case. How do we write them, or how do we use them in terms of defining our test cases? So if you see here, the scenario talks about a very sequential manner execution of how this operation will take place, how this transaction will happen in reality. So step one, the user takes in the main scenario is user sets the easy travel card on the reading plate of the easy travel loading machine. Whereas the next step which happens is at the system level, that the system starts reading it. So the system reads the data of the travel card and asks the user that what would you wish to do? And right here we have got something called as E1, and we'll come back and discuss this later. Now there are few options provided by the system at step 2, that do you want to query card balance, add to balance of the card, or check the last card transactions. Now if you see that the main path for this use case is to add value to your easy travel card using credit card. So the other two options are clearly identified as an alternative use cases. That means it's written like to query card balance, you have a separate use case, and for checking the last card transactions, you have a separate use case. This use case is about add to balance of the card. So step 3, user chooses add balance. Step 4, system asks the amount. Again, you have E1 there. Then user continues with the step 5, user selects the amount. System asks, how would you like to make the payment? Is it card or cash? Now cash, given that an alternative is again clearly identified that it might be covered in a different use case, but we are not talking about in this use case here, right? So can you see the characteristic is clearly fulfilled, that all alternative paths are clearly identified. Which use case will it be covered in? Step number 7, the user selects credit card. 8, system asks users to insert the credit card into the credit card reader, and you have E1 there as well. Number 9, user inserts the credit card, and 10, system shows the amount to be charged from the credit card and asks for the confirmation. Now here we have E2, All right. So right here, let's understand what is E1 and E2 and how this is applicable at these points. Now, if you look at the bottom, there's another table which talks about the exceptions. And E1 says user can stop the process by removing the easy travel card from the reading plate. That means till step number 8, if you remove the card from the reading plate, your transaction will be terminated at any of these points, step 2, step 4, step 6, or step 8. But post that, once you have inserted the credit card, there's a confirmation message. You just can't remove the card plate and transaction can be cancelled, right? There's another way the same transaction can be cancelled if you opt as no, because step number 10 is to take a confirmation from you. So what if the user does not accept the amount to be charged? They can cancel the operation only by pressing the cancel button on the credit card reader, right? So that's a different exception to terminate the main path. But say, for example, following the happy path, the user continues. User confirms the amount, system makes the credit card transaction and adds the amount to the Easy Travel card balance. 13, user removes the credit card and the Easy Travel card. Number 14, system prints out the receipt for the transaction. And 15, the system returns to the main screen without any interaction of user, right? So the point here is we have fulfilled all the characteristics of use case what we just discussed. A use case consists of one main path. It has all alternative paths clearly identified, and use cases have exceptions clearly identified. At the same time, it exhibits a real-time scenario between a user and the system. Now, being that you have been through the test case writing tutorial, you can very well differentiate that the test cases are pretty much different from use cases. And moreover, use cases are derived by the business. Business will provide you, the customer will provide you this information, or sometime, given that you understand the requirement, you can also come up with the right use cases which can be reviewed by business to justify if this is what they were expecting, right? So that's all from the understanding of use case, and this is how the technique can be used to reduce the test cases. All right, let's add here how many test cases would be required by this technique. Then you always take one positive test for the main path, which is step 1 to step 15, and then all the exceptions, which are negative scenarios, will be each test case. For example, we have 4 E1 and 1 E2. So you will have 6 test cases altogether, 5 negative and 1 positive. Positive means all the valid scenario. So 1 valid scenario end to end and 5 different exceptions where the test can be terminated to try that transaction gets cancelled, right? So that's all from this particular tutorial, team. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video, team, and happy learning.